join the Fighters and Mages Guild.
We're looking for recruits. Interested? If you're interested, see Velena Daunton in Coral, or Azan in Anvil, or Burz Grokash in Shadenhall.
Balls. Shadenhall. Chorl. Anvil. Right.
Training, beds, and good hard work. Can't beat it.
Can I buy training even if I'm not a member?
We're looking for recruits. If you want my help, you'll need... Join the guild. You won't regret it.
I want to join the guild. You won't allow me to. At least I can do the Mages Guild quest. Probably. The initial quest shouldn't be too difficult.
Hello there. Are you here to join the Mages Guild?
Why, yes, I am.
The guild is always accepting new members. You seem capable enough. Are you sure you want to join?
Yes, I want to join the guild.
Very good. You are now an associate of the Mages Guild. What a wonderful opportunity for you. Now, please keep in mind that you'll need recommendations from every local guild hall in Cyrodiil before you may enter the Arcane University. I dare say my opinion might carry more weight than others, if you take my meaning. Still, all are necessary to proceed. Good luck to you. Yes? Blah, 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 what a bore. That's just talk. Good one. Really now, you're such a charmer. You can't... You're a big... That's goodness. Well, that's not bad.
Right, so what do I need to do?
A recommendation from me? Well, of course. Raminus would naturally want my opinion, wouldn't he? This is a situation we can both benefit from, associate. You do me a small favour, and I'll happily send along a glowing recommendation. If you can find Jaskar, I'll write the recommendation immediately.
Jaskar?
He's disappeared. I mean, he's really disappeared. No one here has seen him in days. Volinaro thinks maybe a spell backfired. If someone from the council were to stop by and find him gone, it'd look bad for me. I can't have that. Talk to the mages here and see what you can find out. If you can make Jaskar reappear, you'll have your recommendation. Not only has necromancy been banned from practice in the Mages Guild, but the guild won't deal with anyone who openly uses it. Guild members who have access to the university can craft their own spells, not to mention chat with the most important people in the guild. You know what it's like. Make lots of friends and look busy. Same as anywhere. Why, all the important people in the guild are there. Archmage Traven lives there, in the tower. It's a fabulous place. You really should see it someday. I've been there many times myself. The Imperial City just wouldn't be the same without it. Maybe someday, if you know the right people, you might get a chance to see it. Please come find me as soon as you've located Jaskar.
Ooh, looks like we're free to take alchemy tools. We have a mortar and pestle and retort. Alembic. The calcinator. Right. We have a full set. At the same time, I don't really want to carry these with me constantly. They do have some weight to them. 16 pounds total. Mortal pestle is the lightest weight, only 1 pound.
My name is Selena Urania. I'm a Mages Guild journeyman. Please, go on.
Nerdroot.
What was it called again? Something root? Oh, Sorry, I can't remember. I'm afraid unusual plants are not my area of expertise. I think I'll have to refer you to Sundarian. He's a fantastic alchemist in Skingrad who specializes in this sort of thing. Well, sometimes I feel we're not welcome here. The Nords don't like Heartlanders very much. Half of the Council of Mages resigned when Traven took over the position of Archmage.
Jiskar.
Look, I like you and all, but I really don't want to get in the middle of this. If Volinara and Jaskar want to have their fun, fine. I'm not going to participate, and I'm not saying another word about it. Take it up with them. Only quality goods for sale here. What can I interest you in?
Plenty of crap.
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
A beguiling touch. Charm. Target for 30 seconds on touch. These are the incredibly badly designed spells in my opinion. The charm effect is basically a disposition increase. The problem is that when you talk to someone, time freezes. So there is no point having a 30-second charm effect. You would be much better off reducing the duration massively and increasing the power in equal measure. But it means the cheapest charm spells redesigned are about as good as you're ever gonna need. So they're terribly designed spells in general. I don't really feel like playing an illusionist. This would be domination, ability to cause fear, things like that. It is counter to the design I see for my character. Telekinesis requires Mysticism 25. I feel like this probably suffers from the same problem as the charm. It has minor power, long duration, and I don't see how this would be useful. I'd like the ability itself. Good summoning spells. Hell Reflection. Next tier of destruction spells. Not sure if we want to buy these. We can always come back once we get to Destruction 50. Daedra. This is probably summon 75 at least.
Thank you for your patronage.
But she
day.
gave me a name, person to go talk to.
What is it? Volinaro, at your service. Need a spell? Need an item recharged? Need a witty practical joke played on someone? I can handle it all. Always keep your magical equipment sharp. Only quality goods for sale here. What can I interest you in?
Damage fatigue. We have a lightning touch. We would get a frost touch spell. Or do we have a frost touch? No, we have definitely a lightning touch. Fire damage, 70 points on target. This is way too powerful. Range cold attack. Range shock attack. These aren't terrible. The problem is they're very low damage. They're still better than my current fire spell. So it probably wouldn't be a horrible idea to have another elemental type at least. Tremora Lord. Only costs 2,293 gold. 476 magic to cast. The prices will go down once you have more skill and attributes. So this is not how it costs when you actually have the ability to cast it. I think I'll take this. Yeah, give me the spark. We're gonna be electrical focused for now. Maybe the frost hotch. We should haggle a little bit at least. Ooh, prices are great. I'll take the snowball too. That way we have range attacks of all type. Damage fatigue.
Another satisfied customer.
Indeed.
It's a little too rugged up here for me. Add a couple hairs to a Nord, and you've got a bear. The Mages Guild has made more than a... It's a shame that Selena doesn't join in our fun, but she takes her role as an alchemist very seriously. If you need supplies, she's the one to see.
Right. What about Jiskar?
Oh, Jean has you looking for him, does she? I'm afraid you're not going to find him easily. I think, a spell backfired. That's probably it.
You're full of shit. Tell me about Jean Prasoric.
With all due respect to our wonderful leader, she couldn't cast her way out of a paper sack. It's insulting that we're here, working for her, when she knows nothing. She's managed to butter up the right people just enough to keep her position, and there's little we can do about it. But we have our ways of coping with the situation. Take your time.
So if I can basically get his disposition over 70, he's going to actually tell me what's going on.
You've got a point. Don't. That. My life is drab and wretched by comparison. You want to find Jiskar? All right, I think I can help with that. But you have to agree to do something for me first. And whatever you do, you can't tell Jean about it. All right?
Fine. What is it?
That's the spirit. You help me pull off a little prank, and I'll help you find Jiskar.
What is this prank you're talking about?
Really? You're going to love this. I'll teach you a spell to unlock things. What you need to do is get into Jean's desk and bring me her manual of spellcraft, okay? Her room is upstairs. Make sure no one sees you. You do that for me, and I'll make sure you can find Jiskar. Let me know when you're done with that little task.
Is the place? Probably.
What is it?
Has there been any sign of Jiskar today, Volinaro?
What? Oh.
Not exactly a demanding request. I have Jean's manual of spellcraft. I need to deliver it to Volinaro. What's the point?
Have you heard any word about the other provinces?
Nothing.
Good to know. Good day.
There's something special about the manual of spellcraft. The book contains an inordinate number of scrollings along the margins. The few that are immediately readable suggest they are notes for someone who needs frequent reminders on the basics of spellcasting. Might not be the safest place to do the exchange. Free alchemical ingredients. I don't want to overplay the importance of alchemy in this game for a mage, but I still... It's probably, if not the most important skill, it is it is close behind it. The most important skill might be to basically specialize in any of the spell schools strongly. But if you have alchemy on top of that, you can actually spam the spells fairly regularly in a fight.
Have you pulled that little prank yet?
Yes, I did.
You've got Jean's book, I see. All right then, I'll just take that from you. Meet me in the living quarters just after 10 p.m.
11 hours from now. I'll go and meet with the fence first. Who was it? Is the quest? Ongar. He probably has a house here. Olaf's Tap and Tack. Raj Callus's house.
Hello.
Jagasta's house. What house is this? Ah. Extension of the other. Helvius Cecilia.
What's your story? I'm Regner. You want anything? Talk to Edla. She's in charge. I hate it here. Came here with Edla. All these snooty southerners. And damn guards won't let anyone have any fun. Alga sure can tell a good story. I'm not normally a big fan of bards' tales, but she's got some good ones. Farewell.
Arnora. An unlocked house. Usually that's not the case unless it's quest related.
What do you want? Can't you see that I'm upset?
Why are you upset?
I can't help myself. I'm just a sucker for well-heeled men. That Ola, for example, at the Tap and Tack. He's dreamy. And successful, too. Someone needs to get Sciorta under control. You'd think Olfand would be the one to do it. Good riddance.
Suspicious looking amulet on that woman. Massive, usually are rare to see. Ongar the World Weary.
I see you are with the Grey Fox. Do you need a fence?
No, I need to get rid of my stolen loot.
All right.
I don't seem to be getting along all that well with the Nords.
Really now, you're such a charmer. Well, not you're wasting your breath. Really now. Well, you're... Oh, please. Please. What a great story. Not... Is that so? Bruma is a perfect town for a Nord man of leisure. Bracing mountain air, good food and drink, and lively Nord fellowship. All Thieves Guild members have sworn loyalty to him. If there is such a thing as a guildmaster, he's it. Sirach is a good healer. He's a Redguard, but you'd think he was a Nord the way he acts.
Okay.
You got some hot property?
I have no hot property, I think. More or less interesting seeing what type of a shop is this. At least you can buy lockpicks. Terrible prices. I'll buy a couple. They don't weigh anything. Right, this is the maximum money he will pay for an item. Goblin Totem Staff is 600. is massively more valuable than that. Even with his percentage, it should be probably closer to 3,000 plus. 3,000 at least. So 600 is pitiful.
I'm glad that's done. I need a nap. Shadow hide you.
At least I know where to find him now. Jarl's house. Istris Brolus. Very easy to pick the lock, also it's not a crime to do so, which is suspicious.
I'm Jantus Brolus. I'm the illusion trainer. I can show you some new things.
I bet you can.
Easterus and I used to be adventurers, but we've retired here. Bruma is far from civilization, but we're ready for a little peace and quiet. I understand Bumpf Bragash trains other Fighters Guild members on the proper use of heavy armors. Easterus and I used to be adventurers. Good day.
Istris Brolus's basement. Potential thievery target, I guess. Radon Lyrian.
Please leave me be.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves, our Raynal Draelus, will be allowed access.
Who is Raynal Draelus?
The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information. I'm listening. You can't... Really? Well done. You're revolting. Is that so? What a... Ugh. Really now? You're such a charmer. You can't scare me. Well... Ugh. Please. I'm embarrassed, but... Goodness. Well done. Get up. That's just talk.
Raynal Draelus.
The culprit in this crime is... I'd tell you more. All right?
Bribe. I can't get it to 70 even with a bribe. Gonna talk about something else first.
Someone needs to get Skjorta under control. You'd think Olfan would be the one to do it. Good day.
I'm sorry. I can't right now.
You're going to...
I have to
We'll
bribe
see.
him.
That? See? Was that hard? I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Raynal Draelus, we may never have uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we've found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Raynal arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you, so you can see we really don't need any help, but thanks for the offer.
Right. Tell me about Braden Lyrian.
As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense.
More about Reynold Drellas.
I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living. Feel free to question.
I'll return to this after we dealt with the Magus Guild stuff. One thing at a time. That whole situation stinks. I think it was about 10 PM in the evening. In the...
How delightful. Welcome.
living quarters. After 10 PM. Fine. It's 12 PM now, so we'll just wait 10 hours, go in, and that should do it.
Ready to find Jaskar?
Please.
Just watch. You'll see.
Hello there. I hear you've been looking for me.
Oh, please don't be mad.
We were just having some fun. We just got tired of Jean lording her position over us when she barely knows anything about magic. Every now and then, we like to trick her. We figured it was time to move on to a new prank. This one was getting boring anyway, so you can tell her you found me.
What is going on here?
Well, it was fun while it lasted. I'll have to start thinking up something new to try.
Are you just being asshole to her because she's not very good mage?
Finding ways to confuse her just never gets old for me. It's good practice of our skills, too. But it's mostly just funny. There's not much to do here in the Bruma Guild. If you can get to the Arcane University, though, they let you make your own spells there. Things in the guild have been different. You two...
Good day. She won't figure this out for weeks. Ah, it's times like this I enjoy what I do. It was a good idea, wasn't it? I wonder how long she'll spend trying to figure out where she put it down. You too.
I mean, I understand some of the pranks, but now they have already resorted to stealing. So, how is this really a prank? We stole stuff from another person, now she can't find it. Isn't this funny?
It's you. Hi. Any luck finding Jaskar?
Yes, I had.
Found him, did you? Well, I suppose that's good. You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something. Yes, well, let's never mind that. You've fulfilled your end of the bargain, though, so I'll fulfill mine. Ramanus will have my recommendation. And don't you forget about me once you've finished your training. I'm sure we can help each other out. Farewell.
Right, I did buy some few new spells. We're using the electric touch. The flare is even bad for even low level of a damage spell. Probably should switch it to shock or snowball. Snowball is slightly cheaper. I'm not quite sure why. I'm assuming it's because of resistance profiles, so the shock damage would be the least resisted general spell. Fire is the most resisted, hold somewhere in the middle. It could be that certain creatures have damage resistances, like animals might have a lot of cold resistance, for example. Right. Vampire Hunter. Hopefully they're still there. Probably not the best time of day to try to do the investigation, but I don't see why we shouldn't do it either. Now I can think of a good reason why to use different type of spells, different effects. Because it's impossible, the icons are the same. They're only based on the damage type, not the different spell. So it's impossible to see which spells you have pre-selected here. So what I need is a ranged attack spell that isn't shock damage. Snowball will do.
I don't know what else to tell you.
I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me.
Please calm down. I want to help.
Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast.
Tell me what happened.
I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open and my Braden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Rainil Draelus. He said he was a vampire hunter and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Rainil, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carriers, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Rainil convinced Carriers that Braden was a vampire.
The evidence looks bad for Braden.
Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing. The guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Rainil character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. Look, there isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name. We'll see.
These are the type of situations where a little bit of persuasion would go a long way.
I can't argue. Don't waste your... Sorry, that's amazing.
Amazing.
You think that's... Don't talk. I can't... My life is drab and wretched by... Don't talk. You think that's... That's enough.
Tell me more about Rainil.
I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and make him tell you the truth. I swear he's a liar. The Fighters Guild is recruiting. I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
Repeated tampering with Braden's corpse is a crime and will alert the authorities. I just want to see if it has any details I could Might be able to notice something odd. Looks like there might have been a fight here, maybe.
Oh, you're back.
Hello. Hello.
Excuse me.
Murdered beggar. Yeah, just a beggar. It would have been hard to get a beggar in here though. Don't notice any. This is the only access point. The handbill. But it's an advertisement. Right, at least there's some genuine reason to believe that he was up to no good. At the same time, it would be hard to believe that he could hide the corpse from his wife.
Excuse me. So, I'm sure Erlene is very upset. She'll be safe, though. Rainiel has confirmed with us that she isn't infected. Her accusations that Rainiel is lying is not surprising. At this point, she's so upset that she'll say anything to deny what really happened. I suppose if I found out a loved one was something as horrid as a vampire, I'd find any excuse not to believe it either.
Yeah, but you have to look at it from both directions. That could be the case, but how do you differentiate that from her being correct, that he wasn't a vampire? You have to have some sort of a test that determines which it is.
I'll warn you about one thing. I understand you wanting to help Erlene by checking up on Rainiel. We have it on good authority from officials in a neighboring city that Rainiel is what he says he is. So I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. I am only allowing you to do this investigation, and I use that term very loosely, because Erlene is so distraught. Keep up the good work, I suppose.
Thanks. He probably doesn't have a house here, the vampire hunter, so I'm gonna look for the inns.
Hello. Go ahead, please.
Rainiel Drellis.
Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Rainiel slew him. Kind of strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such a likable fellow. You too.
I'm really tired. Can we... What's yours? What can I do for you today?
Braden Lyrian.
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Rainiel killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder. The Countess is Heartland Nibanian, and so are most guildsmen and chapelmen, but most others are as Nordish as you'll find.
Rainiel Drellis.
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know. So? Was that? Yeah! Blah, I accept. I have no choice. You're a big fat... I accept. Not bad. Not bad at all. You're full of it. That's a bit... Whatever you want. No more. Yeah. Blah. I doubt you really mean that. Yeah. Blah. I'm not buying... Yes, you're good. I usually...
Right, there's no way in hell I can get this information easily.
Good journey.
I don't feel like bribing. What the fuck are you doing?
You treacherous little filcher! How dare you steal from me?
What do you want?
Did he just randomly steal a potato, eat it, and get people angry?
Gerald View is a nice place for visitors to stay. Halford makes everyone feel welcome. Good day.
Hi!
What the hell is he doing? I had a charm spell. I think. Probably don't have illusion skill, even if I have it. Be a scroll? It was at least an option to buy. Chameleon scroll. I wouldn't have to pay so much every time if I had a charm spell.
Hello!
And I had to pay one person already. That looks like to be another.
What is
Which who knows how many still I have to pay. So it's just probably cheaper to buy the charm spell right now.
I hope I can help. Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Way too expensive.
Goodbye.
Maybe it's not even here. Oh, for God's sakes. Do you have...
Well met. Bye.
I was thinking a regular shop. Might be able to buy a scroll or something. Guess I'll have to just bribe.
What? The Mages Guild. Run. Farewell.
Bloodgrass, Karada. Tinder Polypore Cap. Ironwood Nuts. Stinkhorn Cap. Shopping list.
What do you want? I don't know what Archmage... You too.
Every rumor is about the Archmage and the Necromancers. Doesn't look like we have an easy way to do this unless I go somewhere else to buy spells, which I don't really like doing. So I guess we'll just have to bribe. What the hell does he even know? Oh, no. Wasn't there another inn in town? Maybe I can get the information there. That building. Pretty sure it's not a shop at least. Geraldview Inn.
I'm Logvar. Hafid pays me to stand around and keep things quiet. I've heard Edla Darkheart was once an assassin. Nords who drink either get friendly or mean. I'm here to deal with the mean ones. Yes, the vampire hunter. As far apparently, he seemed to be... Bye. Welcome to Bruma, stranger. Hafid Hollowleg. I'm your host at Gerald View. Bed, food, whatever you need.
Do you know anything about Reynold Drellas?
Ah, you mean that vampire hunter. He's staying over at Olav's Tap and Tack. It's near the city gates. You can't miss it.
Could I, break into his room then?
Lyra Rosentia collects Akaviri artifacts. She might have a project in mind. Her house is west of the chapel.
Lyra Rosentia.
You hear about Gerunder? He was caught stealing gold and now he's in jail. I bet our Nora's beside herself with grief.
Tell me about Gerunder.
Arnora and Gerunder were once a happy couple, but that's over now. I hear that he took all of their money and stashed it after he committed a robbery. He was gonna skip town on Arnora, but got arrested before making good on his escape. Now she has no money left at all, poor thing.
Two sides of the coin.
Goodbye.
Snar the cook. Big house. Okay. Couple of potential quests, plus we know where the vampire hunter lives or stays, I believe. West of the chapel was also someone who's looking out to go on a quest or expedition.
How do you do? What is it now? Poor Arnora. Seems her boyfriend, Gerunder, has stolen some gold from her and left her
It's a
penniless.
key.
Now he's in jail and she's destitute.
Probably a horrible timing
Be seeing
too.
you.
Basically, he's gonna be there sleeping now, so if I try to break in, I'm just gonna post a wall for myself. I'll rest at this particular inn, just to taste if something happens there. I doubt it, but might as well see. Rest until morning.
What is it now? Welcome to Brew. There's a most comfortable bed just downstairs. A wonderful room and nicely priced at 25 gold a night, if you're interested.
I'll take it.
Excellent. It's just down the stairs there. The door is impossible to miss. I'm sure you'll sleep very well.
Very
I see.
expensive inn. Still, this looks like an expensive inn. Nothing special happens. Right. I'd like to wrap up the vampire hunter business at least. I don't want to go hunting for extra quests until that's settled one way or another.
You get any closer and I'll turn your bones to ash. I have no time for your pathetic attempts at small talk. Now, walk away before I get nasty.
Alval Ubani. What the hell is he doing?
Hello there.
What is it now?
Have you seen Earthor around town lately?
Of course not.
See you.
Farewell.
Do you have the key? Yes. Reynolds' room key. I'm definitely spotted here.
Well met.
Apparently, Right Wind teaches his blade skills to other Fighters Guild members.
He's talented.
Right.
What can I do?
We need to bribe him.
All right.
It's so expensive. I can barely get it to 60 unless I keep. Oh, fuck's sakes.
See? Was that hard?
We'll probably pay 100 for this.
I usually don't give out that. I'm listening. Every little bit helps. That'll get you some. For me, every little bit helps.
Disposition max. 70 is literally the maximum I can get with this guy, and I paid a fortune to get there.
Raynill's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Enter Trainel's room. I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. Well, I paid for the right. Quite. Ooh. The journal. But it's not Trainel's. The 8th day has passed, and still there's no sign of the artifact. We've covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out here, as if the ruins were paying respects to the Aelid inhabitants that disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we are ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before. Braden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3 to 1, we did very well. Only Reynolds suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion of Braden. A potion that Braden had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandit corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the great keep. Two of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rock so typical of the Aelid architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruins difficult, as many of the larger chunks of wall were far too heavy for us to move. Braden suggested that we search the center of the building's foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of back-breaking work, we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what might lie ahead. Eagerly, we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch, lit them, and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually leveled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way to the north. We carefully walked along. I scanned the floors and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripwires, or pressure plates. Such was my specialty. The Aelid were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Braden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and was becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see that what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider's legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one in order I had memorized. The sixth one, the first one, the second one, the eighth one, and finally the first one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and when the door popped open, we all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked in at a huge room with a pedestal at the center. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from the tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of a stylish spider, all eight of its legs coming to a point and ending up at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the Aelids left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring information, we may never had known how to solve this last line of defense. I instructed Braden and Reynold to remain at the entrance, and to tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the third leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead as the pathway made by the tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip could again mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back and out into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contract a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none would have access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening, we drank merrily and sang many a song of adventures past and adventures to come.
Greetings to you.
Have you heard the rumors about...
So, any new revelations in your... investigation?
Gilliborn.
How do you know about that? Ah, too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gilliborn was killed by Reynold not too long ago. Gilliborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
I disagree.
What do you mean, you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gilliborn was not a vampire?
I have Gilliborn's journal.
I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Reynold have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Reynold from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed. and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olev's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Do you have any more questions? I'm afraid I know little more.
Gilliborn.
Yes, I remember Braden mentioning that name once. He was part of the brotherhood he had created with Raynil. I think we're in for some hard times. I know I sound desperate, but I know...
Wait 1 hour. Probably have to go and find the guy ourselves.
Well,
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynil was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Geliborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynil doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice. If he won't surrender, I think you know what to do. Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him. If all you say is true, Raynil will answer for Braden's death.
Gilliborn.
Raynil will pay for both crimes. Geliborn was likely another innocent he slain. I'll make sure Skingrad City Watch hears of this.
What is it
hurry.
now?
Ooh, it's a fairly long way away. But yeah, pretty much just directly west. Shouldn't be too much trouble. If we get into some trouble,
Hello.
all the better actually. Haven't seen some action in a long while. And we do need combat action, otherwise we are not leveling up. But if we follow on this line pretty much directly, we'll end up where we need to be. And since we're here, I might as well collect alchemical ingredients. It's a great source of money, if nothing else. I think I'm going to persuade every shopkeeper I ever deal with, so they'll give me steady training on the persuasion skill. And I do need it. I don't want to keep paying every little piece of crap just because I need a little bit of information. And it's not like I can just ignore it either. It's we have to follow the quest breadcrumb trail to make sure everything works fine. Weak poison of feeble mind. Is this supposed to be an ambush? It is. What the hell is going on? Imperial Legion Forester was murdered here. What the hell is going on? Some guy ran in this direction. There's boxes there. Are there just a huge amount of bandits here for no reason? There's some action here. No, it's another forester. Why does he have arrows in him? He's deer hunting. I think the foresters basically killed each other. But maybe they were just hunting and accidentally shot each other? So it's not impossible. It's a dog, it's not even a wolf. This is not the place we wanted to go to. Right, we'll visit on the way back. Some sort of a settlement there. Also, music hasn't been playing for a while for reasons. Never a good sign. I mean, it doesn't mean that everything has to turn to shit immediately, but... Is that the guy we're supposed to be hunting down? I think that's the forester. Right, this was our goal. I've arrived at the Boreal Stone Cave. I take them by surprise. No one here. Oh, there's a side passage.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's Tap and Tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer.
You will not surrender then?
Certainly not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here, but then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom.
This is your last chance.
Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
Good luck. I've located Raynal in Boreal Stone Cave. He refused to surrender, choosing instead to attack me. I was forced to kill him to defend myself. I can now recover the artifact mentioned in Gilliborn's journal from the chest. Might be a good chance to upgrade our own armor, actually. What do we have? We have rough leather thing and that, and fur thing and that, so I'm gonna borrow this for a while. Waterlock chest. Opening the waterlock chest with all 3 keys, I discovered the artifact to be an amulet. It seems fairly unremarkable, and I am unsure of its function. I think I should bring it back to Erlene Lyrian and see what she wants me to do with it. It does nothing and it has no value, really. Weak potion of sorcery. So a couple of extra treasure chests on top of that and nothing else. I think I'll just quick travel to the town and show the amulet to the wife of the dead guy. Wrap up the quest, leave things at that. We had to do Capstone Cave too, though. Simply because I've found it now. And there's no markings on what sites I've been visiting and what I haven't. So I'm gonna forget that I've never actually visited this particular cave if I don't complete it now. Or fairly soon at least. But since we're close by, I might as well do it now. And this particular cave was fairly disappointing. An amulet that isn't particularly valuable and some minor treasure items. Capstone Cave. There was no guards here. Okay, looks like bandits.
To arms! To arms!
What is this place? Just a bandit cavern? Bandit Bowman. Accidentally took the bow, didn't I? As long as the carry weight is sufficient, doesn't really matter. Always throw it away. Cheap wine. Okay, could be a sizable bandit cavern. Still, bandits are not particularly troublesome. No, I'll end things here. Something's wrong. I sort of feel it when I play it, and I'm not sure what it is. Probably the fact that the music isn't playing is a symptom of that.